Tonight in English Talks, you will listen to an interview about ADHD. Welcome to English Talks. I am Jyoti, and with me in studio is Dr. Paushali, who's here to shed light on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, commonly known as ADHD. Welcome, Doctor. I will begin by asking you what ADHD is.
Good evening to all. Tonight we'll be talking about ADHD. So the full form is Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. So basically it's a neurodevelopmental condition. It can present both in children as well as in the adults. So ADHD mostly consists of three components. One is attention deficit, another is the hyperactivity and impulsivity, and another type where we see mostly a combination of both of the features, that is attention deficits as well as hyperactivity.
How common is the occurrence of this disorder in people?
Yeah, so ADHD is pretty common. So it consists of about 5 to 7% of the children population. In adult, it's mostly 2.5 to around 5% of the adult population that suffers from ADHD.
Is it difficult to diagnose ADHD?
Yeah, for children, it's not so difficult to diagnose because parents pick it up early because the child can't sit at one place, seem to be constantly running. And mostly parents come to seek help when they see a drop in the academic performance. Even the school also complain the child is not able to sit at one place. They are running always. They're not able to focus on what is being taught in the class. So for children, the parents pick it up early, but it's not necessarily that this condition manifests in the early part of the childhood. It often manifests a bit later on when too much of workload comes. I will talk about the symptoms later, so we will understand its relevance later on. So too much of workload comes and people have managing those workloads simultaneously. So for adults, it's quite difficult to diagnose. They themselves might think they are not trying enough, that's why they are not getting it at hand. But for children, it's relatively easy to diagnose, so it's a very good sign.
What is the difference in the symptoms of this disease between children and adults?
So for children, the hyperactivity component is more. We will see the child running here and there. We'll see the child will not be able to sit at one place. They will be not sitting at one place and eating. They will just go here and there. But for adults, they will be able to sit at one place, but somehow they are not able to concentrate on what is going on. Adults will be seen fidgeting here and there, but obviously we won't see an adult running here and there. So basically, for the adults, the attention deficit component is more than the hyperactivity. In children, the hyperactivity and the attention both coexist. So in adults, the attention deficit is a bit more prominent.
When you say adults, what age group are you referring to?
Yeah, so ADHD can surprisingly be diagnosed at even later age of 30 and 35 when too much of responsibility comes to a person. Mostly it's prominent around the late adolescence period, around the high school time when people have a lot of responsibilities coming up. So it's just not only the studies, rather the co-curricular activities also come into place and their responsibilities are increasing. So it's very troublesome for the later part of adolescence.
So, very young adults seem to manifest the symptoms most commonly. Why is that?
Yeah, as I told earlier also that youths are seeking help by themselves only. And they're also very open to accept any help that they require because that actually is affecting their performance and they are finding it very difficult to juggle among all the various responsibilities that they have to take. As we age, our responsibilities increase. It's not only the work, the family, some social responsibility. So everything we have to manage. So people are finding it very difficult to juggle along those and prioritizing things.
Aren't we all, Doctor?
Yeah, definitely.
How are normal, stressed, overworked adults different from ADHD patients?
So, for people with ADHD, it's not that they have trouble when they are having a lot of stress or when their workload increases. At normal times, also, they find it very difficult to do the things. And often when we ask them, how was your performance in childhood? They said, yeah, we had difficulties in paying attention to the class, but somehow, okay, I used to study a lot. That was the only thing I used to do. So I got good marks. So I was good in academics till then. So yeah, what I'm saying about the ADHD features, everyone has it. But what differs is the pervasive pattern and the persistent pattern that these people struggle with. So when we are free, we are normal people, they are free, they are able to relax. But for ADHD people, this is the thing, they are not able to relax, even they have nothing to do. So first thing is most of the patients present with this complaint that they have trouble to think. It is a lot of things are running in their mind and they are not able to concentrate on what they are doing at present. So suppose a person starts to do a task, suppose there is a sound, they just go and check what is that sound for. Again they come back, they restart doing that task. Again something else happens. Suppose a message comes up, they again look into that message and they spend time there. Then again they restart, then they have to go out to the balcony, suppose, for a smoke. So normally when people go out in the balcony, normally we can stare at something. Suppose there is something attractive in the nature, we can stay and we can be glued to it. But for people with ADHD, they have trouble in that. They will again shift their attention to something. They might be looking at the cars that is going on, the people. Again, they're coming to their tasks. So basically, a lot of things are running in their mind. So they are unable to sit at one place and do a task peacefully. But again, saying this also, most patients with ADHD, they say that they can do something which is really very interesting to them. They can do it really very well.
What are the warning signs, the clues, the red flags to identifying this disorder?
Yeah, in children, as I said, the hyperactivity and the drop in academic performance. For adults, nowadays, many of the adults, they come to us, am I having ADHD or not? Please screen me. So the most important or the most diagnostic clue is that they're unable to pay attention to anything that is going on around them, or they're unable to sit at one task and complete it. But and surprisingly, when they say that we have been always a good student throughout our childhood, we have been always performing well, we have always performed well in academics or in extracurricular activities, but somehow now I am having a problem in managing everything and now I can't manage. So it's a good thing that people are coming by themselves and asking whether they have ADHD or not.
And what do you recommend to combat or keep this disorder under control?
Firstly, to visit a psychiatrist. People nowadays, they are coming by themselves, so that's a very good sign. So after evaluation by a psychiatrist, by a medical professional, we would advise them any medicines or therapy that is required for them as per the clinician's judgment.
In children with ADHD, is it generally a standalone disorder or accompanied by other developmental disorder symptoms as well? What I mean to ask is, can children with ADHD lead a normal life with proper medication and treatment?
They can, obviously, they can. Even we have seen many successful people having ADHD. That's not at all related to your intelligence quotient. But again, ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder. So for children, there might be some autism spectrum or other intellectual deficits that might be associated with ADHD. So these also needs to be screened when they are seeking out help.
How are people screened for ADHD?
So it's both basically a subjective as well as an objective evaluation by the doctor that's to be carried out. But again, there are other diagnoses that can also come into play, not necessarily ADHD. Many people who are having ADHD, they can actually have anxiety also. So that is what preventing them to concentrate or something. So it's not just only one component that is problem in attention, but we have to go in back retrospectively and also evaluate the child's academic performance and everything.
Doctor, you said many youth want to be screened. Isn't it possible that they're just trying to blame something out of their control for their underperformance?
Well, this is a thing the parents also assume. So when they come, we always ask the person to come with parents. So they always say, my child has been such a great performer since the school. They have been doing well so much. Now they are just lazy. This is the problem of this generation and everything. But when we really ask the patient, or when we actually examine the patient by asking him or her some certain questions, the person always answers it has been a problem in their childhood also, but somehow it has been covered by their extra efforts. But now they have a lot of things to do, so that they don't have time to put this extra effort. So basically, okay, for a layman, it's always what they don't want to do. but it's actually they what they can't do because of the problem that exists in them.
Could you give some statistic, some number as to how many people actually test positive for ADHD when screened?
Well, I really don't have a statistics on that part, but okay, if we screen 100 patients, almost we will find 10 to 20 persons will be having some problems or the other, because that is the first place why they are seeking help. If we don't have a problem, we really don't visit a psychiatrist that much. So obviously they are having certain problems. But we should always keep something in mind. Person who is having ADHD, they can really perform well in some aspects in which they really have certain interests. So many people who are suffering from ADHD, they play some instrument well that actually requires a lot of attention. Some are very good at playing some games, or they are very good at sports. So it's always a parent's thing. They are not doing it because they don't want to do it. But it's not always the case, because we all want to perform, be excellent in our own field. So when a person is coming for help, it's something they might have. That's why they are seeking help, because they're really under trouble.
Thank you, Doctor. That will be all. I'm Jyoti signing off. Tonight in English Talks, I was in conversation with Dr. Paushali, and we were talking about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.